In this chapter, you'll learn a variety of methods to evaluate and compare capital investments. Capital investments are purchases of things such as buildings, equipment, or significant expenditures on major projects. These are some of the most important decisions that managers make. Some capital investments are huge, such as a new manufacturing facility, a fleet of new jetliners, or a football stadium. The importance of these decisions is obvious. For small business owners, which are nearly always tight on cash, nearly every capital investment decision is of critical importance. One bad capital budgeting decision could bankrupt a small business owner. Many small business owners evaluate projects using the cash payback approach. We will show you this approach, but we will also demonstrate why this is often not a good approach to use. So we also teach you methods that are conceptually superior and nearly as easy to apply. These methods, such as the net present value method, incorporate the time value of money. These methods have applications for a very wide assortment of business situations.
At an estimated total cost of $550 million US, Holland America Cruise Line's the MS New Amsterdam is worth more than most mid-sized American companies. Since cruise ships are at the core of Holland's business model, building, maintaining, and upgrading them is critically important to the level of service they can offer the 700,000 passengers they carry annually.
Most people today just think of us as a cruise line. We're actually over 130 years old and started as a cargo and passenger transport company. In fact, we actually transported almost 1 million immigrants from Europe over to America, but we were also one of the first companies to do a vacation cruise. Way back in 1895, if you can believe that, there was already a market for a vacation type of an experience on a passenger vessel.
All companies, regardless of industry and size, must constantly determine how to invest resources. A capital expenditure is a major equipment or facility purchase that requires a significant capital, or cash, outlay to acquire. The process of making a capital expenditure decision is referred to as capital budgeting, and it involves choosing among various capital projects to find the one or ones that will maximize a company's return on its financial investment.
One of our major initiatives is to keep our product fresh and relevant for our brand. And so that means investing in the onboard experience, including the staterooms, the common areas, the back of the house technical features of our vessels.
Many companies follow a carefully prescribed process in capital budgeting, which includes 4 steps. 1. Project proposals are requested from departments, plants, and authorized personnel. 2. Proposals are screened by capital budget committees. 3. Officers determine which projects are worthy of funding. And 4. Board of Directors approves capital budget. Holland America starts this process in April of each year as Larry sits down with his CEO.
And we lay out a guideline as to what we think is a level of capital expenditures we can afford given projected profitability and cash flow of the company for the next budget season. Then we issue those guidelines to senior management in the company, and we hold meetings, and they come to the capital expenditure meetings with their basically wish list of what they think they need. Everybody comes in high, and but it's you don't want to come in with something that's frivolous. You need to present yourself that ultimately is going to help drive profitability, brand awareness, and I think we do a pretty good job of that.
There are 2 popular capital budgeting techniques for evaluating capital investments: cash payback and the net present value method. The cash payback technique identifies the time period required to recover the cost of the capital investment from the net annual cash flow produced by the investment. The formula, assuming equal net annual cash flows in each year, is cost of capital investment divided by estimated net annual cash flow equals cash payback period. The shorter the payback period, the more attractive the investment. Discounted cash flow techniques take into account both the time value of money and the estimated net cash flow from the investment. These are generally recognized as the most informative and best conceptual approaches to making capital budgeting decisions. The net present value decision rule is: accept the project if net present value is 0 or positive. Reject the project if net present value is negative. Holland America Cruise Lines strives for a specific minimum return on their investment, so they use the internal rate of return technique. The internal rate of return decision rule is: accept the project when the internal rate of return is equal to or greater than the required rate of return. Reject the project when the internal rate of return is less than the required rate of return. Ultimately, the capital budgeting evaluation process is one that follows a very specific set of guidelines.
And we use an internal rate of return of 14%. So we have a fairly high hurdle rate in order to get the capital expenditure approved.
At the same time, it isn't a perfect science, and there are many factors that can affect the best predictions. For that reason, they are very cautious. A cruise ship isn't like a copy machine or fleet car. A ship purchase at the wrong moment could have serious impact on Holland America's bottom line. As such, they always take care to perform post-audits, evaluations of a capital investment's actual performance. Post-audits create an incentive for managers to make accurate estimates, and they are useful for determining whether a company should continue, expand, or terminate a project. Walking around a Holland America ship with Larry is kind of fun. He's been at the company for over 25 years, and he has a great memory for numbers, so he can list everything about purchases and fleet upgrades. This ship, for example, was built in the mid-1990s for about $350 million, but they've since made over $40 million in upgrades.
One aspect of that I really enjoy about the job is the planning process. It's really the heart of your company. You know, generally, employees in a company want to see it grow. And for us, a new ship represents growth. It represents longevity, it represents job security. You know, you feel very proud about working for the company when you have new products coming online. And they're very well received by our guests.